All right, all right, all right. Hello and welcome to the PiG Daily, episode number 92. And today we're going to be talking about Nate's turret syndrome. Nate Nathanius, our much beloved Terran streamer and caster, he has been abusing and destroying players of all races with auto turrets. So let's dive straight into a replay. Let's take a look at this game, which he was kind enough to send us, and let's have a talk about it. So. This is Nate up here in the top left on his barcode. He was nice enough to send me a whole big pack of his replays at my request, and I found one here. I mean, I'm sure there might have been better ones. I didn't get a chance to go through all 50 replays, but I did think this was one of the more straightforward ones, which really showcases his build, showcases some of the power of it. So basically, it's the Raven. The auto turret now does 24 damage a shot. It 2 shots workers, and it shoots, I believe, as fast as a Marine, maybe slightly faster. So it can just, you drop it in a mineral line, it'll kill like 4, 5, 6 drones so quickly if your opponent doesn't react. So that's actually made the Raven a lot more powerful. Add to that there's now an upgrade for Seeker Missile, which makes the Seeker Missile launch much quicker. You know how Seeker Missiles normally have that like delay where it's like, oh, like, and you're like, okay, cool. You know, all it does is force your opponent to pull back if they're watching, right? But now it's just like, even mutas almost never escape it. Zerglings on creep are like the only thing that reliably escape the new Seeker Missile. Of course, that relies on an upgrade, but that is another usefulness for Ravens in late game. The Raven, just in general, such a powerful unit now because it gives you that harassment opportunity where you can, harass just for energy. All you have to do is fly into the edge of their base, drop some turrets, and you can get some damage done really nicely. At the same time, it gives you detection. So in TVT, I think it's going to be a 100% necessary unit because you can basically just be like, oh, they built a Banshee. Before, if you built a Raven, you'd need like a Cyclone or a Cyclone and a Viking with it to try and shoot down. Did he just tag the ground? Oh, he tagged the ground. Bloody Nate, man. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this dirty SCV. He just spray painted the ground. He just drew like, is that a pylon? Yeah, I think it's a pylon. Or, oh, I don't even tell what that is. Maybe someone in chat can let me know. Anyway, Nate just bringing out his 6 spray paints, of course, on the decal from the SCV. But anyway, yeah, basically Ravens do sick damage. The auto turrets wreck everything. Ravens provide detection, so they're going to be amazing in TVT because they shut down Banshees. You can, if your opponent's not watching, you can drop an auto turret under a Banshee, and it takes like, I don't know, like 2.5 seconds to kill. I think it's like 3.5, 4 seconds to kill a Banshee. Like a single auto turret will snipe a Banshee so quickly. You're not really going to ever see that happen at pro level because the players react too fast. But if they drop 2 auto turrets, that's like a dead Banshee, pretty much no matter your skill level. And below that level, if you're playing, against Platinum, Gold, Diamond, a lot of players are not going to react fast enough. So auto turrets really are this unit which just have this crazy damage output. They only last a few seconds, but they are just super useful. So let's check out Nate's build order, guys. He's just opened up with a Reaper Expand here. He's then dropped down a factory and a second gas just after that factory, I believe. Let me just double check that gas timing. I'll just double check that. Pretty sure it was second gas after the factory. Yes, it was. Immediately after that factory goes down, he goes for that second gas. Then he goes for a reactor on the barracks, tech lab on the factory, and this is a really safe opening. So if you guys want to play just like a very economic but safe style, this is a way to do it. He does have to lift his command center just because he's up against a very early Zergling speed. He's worried about a Ling Flood. And he just gets a very early siege tank. And a bunker on the low ground. Then you swap the starport in the factory, get out of Raven. Actually, sorry, you get a Viking and Corvid. So Corvid Reactor gives you Ravens 25 energy. It's the same as with the Fungal. So basically, if you start Corvid first and a Viking, by the time the Viking's done, you can you just need to wait a few more seconds before starting the Raven. So you'll notice there Nate canceled the Raven and then restarted it to make sure that it will finish after the energy upgrade is done so that it can benefit from that. So keep in mind, guys, Raven build time 43 seconds, Corvid 79 seconds. So 79 minus 43, let's do maths on stream. What is that, 35? So basically, this has to be at least 35 seconds finished before you start your Raven in order for it to actually benefit from the upgrade. A simple way to think of that is basically you want it to be a little bit past halfway. So you want this to be about, I don't know, 3/5 or something like that along before you start the Raven. And yeah, that's going to allow the Raven to benefit from the upgrade. The Viking here also is very smart because it gets rid of those Overlords. So notice in this game, Zerg hasn't really had a chance to see exactly what's going on. Sometimes the Zerg player will scout earlier and see the tech lab on that starport. But even then, they're not sure if it's going to be Ravens or Banshees, so it's still a little bit hard for your opponent to know exactly what's happening. And as long as they don't see the angle the Ravens are coming from, you're going to have a good time. Something else to note, guys. Why is air harassment, and especially this Raven build, so damn good on the new maps? It's because the dead space. There's so much space where you can just safely go and hide and fly all the way around behind these bases without units being able to touch you. It's really great for air harassment on a lot of these maps. Double auto turret goes down, and look at that, just blast down 5 workers. 4 workers. Oh, they go back a second too early and ends up being 5. What's very important is when you drop these, you need to try and shift click them on the drone so they don't waste their time attacking something like a queen, which, because it's so meaty, will probably be able to then walk away before it actually goes down. And then you can just rotate your Ravens around, and behind this, remember, constant Raven production. So this is what makes this build so sexy, is you just keep building Ravens pretty much non-stop. And just off that 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, constant siege tank production to keep him really safe, 3rd command center, and then going up to 5 barracks and double engineering bay. So not the fastest upgrades for his bio, not the fastest, production or economic explosion, but he really does put on a very annoying amount of pressure for the Zerg to deal with. We see here that auto turret should have focus fired that drone first probably, ended up killing it nonetheless, and doing some decent damage. And you want to try and double up your harassment. You want to hit like multiple locations at the same time where possible. You notice there, Nate shift clicked on those drones, managed to kill 2 of them, and now he's going to, if you've got it the APM, you can shift click on those, try to keep focusing those gas drones as well. Because bruising the queens, it's okay, it's not the worst thing, but it's just not quite as effective. So we've got a 3rd Raven joining the party, and notice he's just going to keep on trying to land them in different locations so he doesn't have to keep flying into the spore crawlers. Yet another 3 drones go down. Oh my god, that's so gross, man. I love it. I love it. And by the way, it does actually shoot ever so slightly faster than a Marine. A Marine shoots every 0.61 seconds. Auto turret shoots every 0.57 seconds. At this point, the Kappa King is just kind of rolling around in his Raven memes right now and just kind of laughing his ass off, of course, because of the way this build works. Notice, there is no stim pack. Oh my god. So something you've got to really be on point on with, and something which Nate kind of forgot for a bit this game, was starting stim on that tech lab. Because you usually want to go 4 reactors and a tech lab, it's going to be like a huge delay until you get both stim and combat shields. So you've really got to make sure you start this like as quickly as possible. Also, you don't need to keep massing Ravens. You could very well do this sort of opening and just make 2 Ravens and spend more money on getting out more tanks and medevacs back home and that sort of thing. Notice here, Nate adds a 2nd and 3rd starport. He does it a really cute way because he just wants to keep building Ravens. He's having fun with them, and I reckon you guys can probably tilt the hell out of your opponents with this as well. Look at the turrets even blast a spore crawler down. Poor Proxy is just like, what the hell is going on, man? Dear God, this is horrible. And remember, even if you don't kill that many drones with each auto turret, yep, you're forcing them to pull away their drones from mining. You force mistakes like this one, where 6 of the drones are just following the other drone. That's like the popular girl. And all the other girls are like, oh my god, where'd you get your shoes? Can we get them? Oh my god, they're so cool. And this is like the, like spore crawlers surrounding the empty mineral line. Zerg's freaking out right now. Once again, shift clicked on those drones, these auto turrets, just so much consistent pressure. So if your opponent doesn't get a Spire, you can just float around forever. If they do get a Spire, you are going to lose those Ravens. In terms of Zerg and what they should do to respond to this, I think they just need to build extra queens and just like sit them on the edges. Like having a spore is nice, but I think queens with their superior range are probably the more useful thing because the ravens can always just steer around a spore. You got a queen here, for your raven to come in, drop an auto turret, and then pull back, like it's gonna take quite a lot of hits. Nate here with just like a funky little 5 Marine Marauder harass trying to damage the hatchery. Gets a fair amount of damage done. More auto turrets at the same time. Let's click on these ravens. 9 kills, 4 kills, 15 kills. A total of 26 drones have died this game, just to 3 ravens. 2 more ravens are at home, a lot of siege tanks. Stim is finally about to finish. Needs to get combat shields as well. And he's actually gone second star fort to build even more ravens. And he's just kind of turtling up on 3 base. Notice when he moved down to take the 3rd, he immediately built a turret and a couple of bunkers because he knew he didn't have stim. So even with siege tanks, he knew he was quite exposed. That's something, if you're going to do this particular way of playing it, make sure whenever you take a 3rd, or even when you take your natural, try to always keep some of the siege tanks on the high ground where they're further back from your army. Because your frontal army, if it's all together, can get flanked and surrounded and overwhelmed super easily. So I think Nate was a little bit gun-ho with how he moved out. You know, if a massive Ling's just like YOLO'd in, he would have been in trouble. Of course, he had a pretty good handle on the situation, knowing that there were drones being rebuilt. Probably saw the Hydroden as well. Yeah, he saw the Hydroden, so he wasn't like too worried about a big Zergling Baneling attack. But you guys might want to keep your eyes out for that stuff in future. By the way, Hydras do outrange Marines and bunkers. Just a tip for you guys. So you don't want to rely too much on bunkers versus Hydras. It can be a little bit tilting when you just lose your bunkers without having, you know, them actually firing much. Of course, your tanks will get shots off covering them, but it's still kind of tough. As long as Nate's okay with it, which I'm sure he will be, I will be posting this replay up in the Team Liquid thread for today's show, as always, guys. So, you know, go check that just a little bit later on today. You know, I might just throw it up straight away because this is going to be a really quick one to cut. If you guys have any questions about this stuff, do shout them out. I honestly just think the auto turret, you know, the extra usefulness of Seeker Missile in late game, I think this is just going to add so much more power to the Raven. As both, you know, it's this early game utility unit, it can do harassment, it can fly around a bit, it can try to force air units out of your opponent in order to deflect it. You know, if your opponent's not watching in TVT, you fly in and there's a Viking, you just drop an auto turret under it. Like, same thing with, like, someone tries to fight it with a Corruptor, like a single Corruptor to stop your Raven, you just drop an auto turret under that Corruptor and it's going to chase off the Corruptor. These auto turrets do an insane amount of damage. They do super well. So, come on, Nate, let's push out. Let's watch this huge army push, which he's finally going to get to. So, there's pretty sick creep spread. He has been sitting back really far. He's getting recalibrated explosives, which is the Seeker Missile upgrade. I can't remember if Nate actually lands any sick Seekers in this game. I hope he does. Let's go take a look at that end fight. The Ravens are still just being dicks, man. What's it up to now? 37 workers killed. Oh my god. He's just got mass bunkers as well. Oh, man. Oh, Nathanius. He's taking his time with this one, that's for sure. Marine's going a little bit YOLO there. I don't know about that trade. He did kill some very valuable Zerg units, so I guess that's okay. And he probably wanted to free up supply for more Ravens, right? He's going up to 5-star forts for tech labs. You're an evil human, Nate. This is so disgusting, man. He finally lost some of the other Ravens, but this Raven has 26 kills. This Overlord's just following it now. Like, I'm gonna see when you come in. Drop's gonna hit the main base as well. Oh my god. Still just throwing Marines away, clearing up creep. It was YOLO's 5th birthday the other day, says I love. Really? I didn't know that. YOLO Jenkins. Nice push here from Nate. Just going to use this positioning really well. Not actually having his whole army together. He's got 3 tanks at home and a shitload of full bunkers. So this is that point where you realize that Nate's parents never taught him to to not play with his food. Because he is toying with this Zerg right now. I just want to see the Seekers. Oh, the Ravens! No, 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 Nate! No! Okay, some PDDs go down. He's going to save him for now, but yeah, this position gets overwhelmed. Throws down auto turrets. Remember, guys, most of the time you actually just want to go auto turrets. You don't even want to go for PDDs these days because auto turrets just do so much damage that you're actually better off 90% of the time just massing auto turrets instead. Zerg's going to try to counterattack desperately, but there's more bio, there's more Ravens. Still doesn't use the Seeker missile, unfortunately. And, yeah, unfortunately, Nate got a little bit distracted by the counterattack there, and his Ravens got kind of caught out. Ooh, one of the Ravens got blasted by Corrosive there. But Nate's got too much. Macro too good, did too much damage to the Ravens. His tanks have reinforced here. They're going to just rain down death from above. And, yeah, just the constant auto turrets every fight really give you that kind of efficient staying power and the ability to be efficient later on in the game, which is something which is really nice. Nice change for Terran. Terran players aren't so used to having this. Not many medevacs down here to heal the bio, so he's got to be pretty careful with his stimming. There we go. A few more medevacs do join up. Man, those auto turrets, they just tear up the units so fast. Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, auto turrets, the occasional Seeker missile, and PDD. We didn't get to see it this game, but trust me guys, Seeker missiles are amazing. So that was a fun little episode. I just wanted to show a really cool piece of harassment. You guys can do that in all 3 matchups. Like I said, there's no real response. Obviously, if a Protoss has a Stargate and just builds like some Phoenix, you know, you can't really just keep harassing with Ravens. But against Zerg, Spire kicks in really late. Against Terran, Vikings aren't that fast, and they get blasted down by auto turrets really, really quickly. So you can usually, even if they've got a Viking and it like catches your Raven before it gets to the mineral line, you just like throw down an auto turret and run away, and usually you can get out of there. So opening up with at least 1 Raven is amazing. I actually really want to try today opening up 1 Raven against Protoss, even when they are going Stargate, just to kill observers and that sort of thing. And it's pretty amazing. LVPV says, Lambo played a game against this strat an hour ago. He just put roaches and lings on patrol behind the mineral lines and 1 spore crawler. Yeah. For the Zerg, it's not like this is like impossible to stop. You really just need to put some units there, whether it be queens on the edge or just enough, you know, roaches, zerglings, those sort of units to just jump on top of it. Keep in mind though, as long as you're hitting early enough with these Ravens, the Zerg player doesn't really want to have a lot of ground units against someone who builds Ravens. So having queens, having spores, and then also having enough units to kill the ground units, that in itself is a pretty good investment. So like all things in StarCraft, once you figure out a really good harassment, your opponents are going to figure out a good way to deal with it, but it's still going to cost them. Even if they don't take direct damage, they take indirect damage by being forced into a certain path. And then you start to do cool things like say, well, he's got enough defense, let's not just blindly throw down auto turrets. Let's just, you know, pull back, save that energy and use it later. Or you say, well, these 2 bases are defended, this one's not, throw down all the auto turrets there, kill a bunch of drones still, and you know, you're still being annoying, you're still keeping your opponent back. So pretty awesome way of doing it. Grill, ugh, get excited guys. All right, so the replays will be up in TL thread. Thanks for watching guys. That is it for today's daily. Next week, by the way, exciting announcement. Okay, first of all, ICFAR, send in your replays using the new units. I want to see replays where you stun people with that Tempest AoE. I want to see replays where you hit sick fungals and mass neural with Burrowed Infestors. Actually, as I say that, I'm literally sending Vibe a message right now because I know he has so many sick replays. And just any new units, send those through. The information for the email to send it through is down below in the YouTube description. It's also right there in chat. Also, for a couple episodes next week, I know BlizzCon, it was like a full month ago. It's so out of date. Who cares about BlizzCon anymore, right? Because it's the best games in the world, I kind of really want to cover it. And I also have a very special opportunity to speak to the pro gamers about their games. So I want to do a series, and I've already got one booked in for Wednesday, European and American time next week, my Thursday morning, where Snoot is going to be looking at a replay of him versus Stats, the game on Apotheosis from BlizzCon with me. And you guys will be able to ask all your questions and so on. So I'm going to try and just pump out as many of those episodes while the BlizzCon kind of games are still fresh in your memories. Should be able to get Drogo on, might be able to get Showtime, Nurture. I've already hit up all these guys. Most of them have been like pretty responsive to it. So Snoot's already locked in. So that's going to be awesome. Also, in future for What If Wednesdays and those sort of episodes, it's going to be, I'm going to set up a tip jar. So any kind of tips during the show will go straight to the player, 100%. Because I unfortunately can't afford to pay them each time I do this sort of show, but I figure that way they can get a bit of support. So I think it's such a special opportunity to actually have the pro gamers from BlizzCon analyze and talk about their games. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. So remember to bring your sick questions and that sort of stuff next week. For now, I am going to go. I'll be back with some more daily topics next week. Besides those ones, we're going to talk about trying to fight carriers. We're going to talk about a few different suggestions that have been out there. How to use Swarm Hosts, how to fight against Swarm Hosts as both Terran and Protoss, trying to deal with these new unit interactions and that sort of thing. So guys, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to hug a watermelon, kick a walrus, and of course punch a watermelon to the moon. I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.